Welcome to Section 2, Working with Images in Word 2013. In this section we're going to look at manipulation, inserting, and effects for images, SmartArt, and charts. So in this lesson we're going to look at pictures, whether it be clip art or an image inserted, like a photograph, inserted in your document. So by the conclusion of this lesson you'll be able to insert, manipulate, and apply effects to images to enhance the visual appeal of your documents. So I have the same document we've been working on here with a title, style, and a drop cap. So I'm going to scroll down to the end of the document and I'm going to insert some pictures. These are just basic HTML pictures I pulled off the royalty-free Office clip art site. So we have our picture here, and notice it's fairly large for a document. So to resize it, I can use the resize handles all along here and drag to a new size. At the top we have the rotation handle. I can drag and rotate the picture to any degree that I want. Now I can also come up here and click rotate. Notice, by the way, notice now that we have an image selected, we have what's called a contextual ribbon format. This only shows up this format tab only shows up when we have an image selected. Notice if I click off the image, it disappears. So on this new ribbon, Picture Tools Format, we have a rotate option. I have some options here. I can also type in a precise rotation right here, let's say 34 degrees. You might have to rotate on the certification exam. I would recommend going here, and typing in the rotation to make sure you get it exactly correct instead of using the rotation handle and trying to get it to the correct position. So I'm going to rotate this back to 0 and click away, and notice, as I said, the toolbar or the ribbon for picture format disappears. So I'm going to insert two more images here below this one. And these are the images. Oops, I had the one selected, so when I inserted the new one it overwrote the old one. So let me get the last one in here. Alright, so we're going to work with these three images in this section. Now I want all three images to be the same size. So if I click on the first image, go to Format, I'll notice the size is 1.97 by 2.76. So if I say 1.97 by 2.76 and 1.97 by 2.96. Oh, oops. Now notice when I type in a height, when I type in a width, the height is automatically calculated so it remains proportional. So you notice I mistyped and typed 2.96 and it adjusted the height to 2.11 for the image to remain proportional. When I made a correction, you will see that now all three images are the same size. Okay, Word is different than a page layout application like Publisher in that pictures are treated in a way as text. They go in a line, in a paragraph, just like text does. So text must either wrap around or go over an image. Your image placement options aren't like Publisher, for example, where you can place the image wherever you want on the page and set the text however you want around it. You're more limited, but we do have quite a few options. So let's just drag this up here into the document. We'll put it right here. Now, as you see, it just put it in the middle of the line and created a big space. Not exactly visually appealing or an efficient use of space, but I can come over here to the layout options, click this, and make a change. So I can do some text wrapping here for example, switch it to tight, now we have a little more visually appealing image. Now the image is in the middle, but the text is wrapped around on both sides, so it's a more efficient use of space. We have other options here like square, top and bottom where the image goes above all the text, in front of text where the image is over the text, which isn't very useful, or this one, through. So notice not much difference with this image between square, through, and tight. Depending on the image, there might be different options. Now we can move it with text, or we can fix it to a position on the page. If I go to layout here, an absolute position means it's at a specific place. This one is at horizontal is at 2.19, so 2.19 inches from the top, or 2.19 inches to the right of the column, excuse me, and this is 6.82 inches below page. So 6.82 inches from the top of the page and 2.19 inches to the right of the column, this image is placed. Now we can change our options here. We have alignment, absolute, relative. If you have to place an image on the certification exam, it will tell you exactly what layout option and the numbers to use. So let's review how to get to that. So we can click here, we can go to see more, and this will pop up. We can also get to the exact same window by going here to wrap text. Excuse me, I'll go into position and more layout options. Both ways open the exact same dialog box. So we have body in the text. Let's drag HTML up here in the text somewhere. We'll wrap this square. Now notice we have a problem now. We have our two images overlapping each other. So square is not going to work. So notice these layouts, our images are too close together. So we need to move this somewhere else. Let's move it right there. Now notice that our images aren't overlapping because they're not right together. So let's look at our options here. See if we can make this look a little better. Oops, that's not going to work. Let's go here. No. Okay. So this one we need to position. We need to do a little positioning on this one. So I just moved this one to the bottom corner of the page, kind of out of the way, down at the bottom corner. So what I did is in position, alignment, right relative to the right margin, bottom relative to the page. So let's look at the right margin. We're going to right justify this image, and then that's horizontally. Then vertically we're going to align it bottom relative to the page to put it at the bottom. Now if I said relative to the line, notice it's going to go up here because we're relative to the line we were on, and remember that image is in the middle of the text. And actually I kind of like it up there better, so we'll leave it there. Now we also have our head. I'm going to cut this and paste using Control X to cut, Control V to paste. We can also cut and paste up here in the clipboard group on the Home tab, or we can use the contextual menu to cut and paste. So here we'll just leave this one square. So now if I view my document, where I can see both pages at once by going to the View tab and using the Multiple Pages button, which will zoom my document out to 80% so I can see both pages. The amount of space you can see, or the amount of pages you can see, depends on the resolution of your monitor. The larger the monitor, obviously the more pages you could see. So here is the placement of my 3 images in my document. So that talks about text wrapping and position. Now let's talk about the actual images themselves. We have quite a few options here. We have a picture styles gallery, which has different styles we can style our images with. We can do borders, we can do effects, or we can adjust the way the images look. So let's see. On your certification exam, if you're given a picture style in the gallery, it'll be named. If you point to it, you'll get a tooltip with the name. So let's use center shadow rectangle for our head image. And notice it changes the way the text is because the image changes. So the text wrapping automatically updates depending on what we did with the picture style. So we can put a border around the picture, and we'll use a green border. And I can also put some effects. Now it already has a shadow on it. I can make it glow if I wanted to. So there we go. There's our head image with a glow, a border, and a shadow effect. Now I've set this image up and I decide, you know what, that looks bad, I don't like it, but I don't want to undo. I can go over here to reset picture, and I can reset the picture, just the formatting, or I can reset the size as well. So if I reset the formatting, it goes, notice the picture goes back to how it was originally. Now I'm going to undo that because I want to keep it the way it was. There's also corrections we can do. We can change the brightness and contrast of the images. Again, on the exam, if you're asked to do this, you'll be given the name of the effect or the correction, and if you point to them, notice on the toolbar, or excuse me, the tooltip will give you the name of each one. So we will soften 25%. We can change the color of the image if we wanted to, and we'll use this green accent color for dark on this image. And then we can also do some artistic effects. Again, if one of these is required, it'll be named on the certification exam which one you need to do. What you'll need to recognize is it telling me to put an effect or a correction, so you'll know where to go on the format ribbon to find the effect. So if it's soften, sharpen, or brightness, it's a correction. If it's a name like paint strokes, glow diffused, etc., it is an artistic effect. Now I can also remove the background of a picture, which you will see takes the background off completely. There are new options in 2013 here about mark areas to keep, mark areas to remove. In 2010 it was remove the whole background or not, and then I have to keep or discard the changes. I did not see that on a certification exam, but it's possible it could be there. We can also compress a picture to make it smaller. Pictures make our documents much larger, so if I can press this, apply only to this picture, we can crop it, and then I can do different resolutions. I'm not going to do that. Now, if I want to crop my picture, I can over here. I can crop to a shape or an aspect ratio. So if I want to crop to a plus, for example, there's my image cropped to a shape. I'm going to undo that. So those are some of the options that I have with pictures. Let's go over here to this one, the HTML. We will give it, for this one we'll use the moderate frame black. We will color this one light green accent color to dark, and let's see, we'll glow it light green 18-point glow accent color 2. So there's that. We'll style the body image as well with a metal frame. On this one we'll give it a color tone, which is measured in a temperature, which is measured in Kelvin, 1700 K. And let's see, on this one we'll do a crisscross etching effect. So there we have 3 styled images positioned using the various options, the wrap text and the layout options in our document. In the supplementary materials, I will give you these 3 images so you can insert them into this document and try to recreate what I have here. So what I'd like you to do, as I said, is try to recreate the document I have here. I'll save this document and the 3 images in. So try to recreate what I have here to practice our image manipulation.